Plastic Surgery Talk, brought to you by Mentor, maker of memory gel breast implants.
Welcome back to Loving Liposuction. We're here with Dr. Peter Fedor. Peter, before we have you answer a question, you just finished editing a book called Be Your Best. Tell us about that.
Well, it was an exciting process because the idea with the book was to tell potential patients what realistically plastic surgery can and cannot do, because there's a lot of confusion about that. And I'm very happy with the fact that there are 150 contributors, all board-certified plastic surgeons, all members of the American Society for Aesthetic Plastic Surgery included with this book. And the book has, has actually a front matter that deals with safety and history of plastic surgery and why was the book put together. The book was not put together with the aim of being a cover-to-cover read for someone who's interested in plastic surgery. But what I would recommend for somebody looking at the book is to look at the front matter for general information, and then if they're interested in any specific procedure, whether it's face or body, they can refer to the respective chapter on that procedure.
Well, that's great. So, Peter, I have some questions that I'd like you to help us answer. This question is probably the most common one that I get from liposuction. It's from Rob in California. He says that I'm thinking of liposuction, but people tell me that my body is accustomed to the fat deposits that I have. They tell me the fat will start building up in other areas if I have liposuction. So is that true?
This is indeed a very commonly asked question, and I don't think this is true, but it's very hard to prove it scientifically one way or the other. And I've taken the opportunity at very large meetings where I was conducting a panel and would ask a question of the audience whether anybody has seen this, and usually no one has experienced in their respective practices for this to happen very often at all. But what happens in actuality as we get older, hormones change, and with the hormonal changes, there is fat deposits in certain body areas, regardless whether you ever had liposuction before or not. And if you did have it, then you could say, well, it was going the fat to another part because it was aspirated from someplace else. But we don't believe this is true. However, it's very important for patients to remember that to do liposuction is not enough. You have to combine that with some discipline in dieting and exercising, because there are always residual cells left in the body, and when adipocytes, fat cells. And when we gain weight or lose weight, we don't make more cells or lose cells. The existing cells get larger. So if somebody has a high caloric intake, they're going to gain weight again whether they had liposuction or not. So the way I think about it in my practice is that the patient and the surgeon are a team. The surgeon does the surgery to kind of turbocharge or start up the patients, and the patients continue with their exercise and dieting efforts, and then they have a wonderful result. They lose more weight, far in excess at times, than what was removed surgically.
That's a great answer. So our next question is from Helen in Dallas, and she says, I have a lot of loose skin. Have there been any advancements over the past few years effective in skin tightening? I've tried several rounds of thermage with dismal results. I've lost a significant amount of weight, and I'm primarily concerned about the skin of my arms, above my knees, and upper stomach.
Well, Helen asked the million-dollar question, and yes, it would be great if we could have a real good way to shrink the skin. There are methodologies while we do suction, whether it's traditional suction or not. For example, one is called superficial liposuction that helps a little bit with skin shrinkage. Most of the other things, whether it's laser-associated suction or ultrasound, the evidence is only anecdotal that it helps in skin shrinkage. Now, with some of these non-invasive things, actually, I have a research protocol that I'm going to look at with using focused ultrasound energy, maybe even without doing too much to the fat, but with the primary objective of shrinking skin. And we're going to do this in the inner thighs of ladies, and oftentimes patients who object to the skin redundancy over the inner thighs.
That's fascinating, and we look forward to that advancements as you do that research. So we'd love to do another question, but we're out of time.
Okay.
Peter, it's been a real pleasure having you here, and I've learned a lot, and our audience has as well.
It was my pleasure to be here and answer some of the questions. Enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
So thank you for joining us today. Make sure to send us your emails at info@theplasticsurgerychannel.com. Next time on Plastic Surgery Talk, we're going to talk about breast reduction. So be sure to join us for that. We'll see you soon.